Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Sidiana Nanda Pertiwi dari kelas 214B07 dengan NIM 2121040. Jadi pada video kali ini saya akan membawakan proyek mata kuliah Lab English for Business. Jadi langsung aja saya akan memulai ke bagian 1. Part 1. Baby caterpillar was tired. A summer long she'd been traveling slowly through the green world where she lived and feeding on the green leaves that grew near her home. Now, autumn had come and Mother Nature had given a holiday to the leaves, who put on their new dresses of red and gold and play tag with the breezes. Baby caterpillar went to play too, but could not run so fast as the happy little leaves, and she grew very tired and thought she would take a nap. So she found a cozy place among the branch of a grapevine and made herself a soft, silky blanket. Then she rolled herself away within it, and then in her quiet little cradle went to sleep. One night, late in the fall, Jack Forrest came over the hill. He spied the cradle swinging to and fro, and began to play roughly with it, for he is a roguish little fellow, and touches everything that comes in his way. But the one blanket hid the little slipper so that Jack could not find her. By the biting winter came, bringing beautiful snow blanket to Mother Nature's flower babies. He didn't rock the crate little, as her passed and whispered, "Sleep, baby, sleep. You have no need of my blanket." At last spring came with the sunbeam, the best and merriest of Mother Nature's helpers. They awoke the flower from their long winter nap and called the birds and the brooks to begin their songs. When they came to the little brown cradle, they stopped to rest, and baby caterpillar began to get very warm under the thick blanket. She woke up and stretched herself, and her cradle broke, and she came out to greet the spring. But what a change in said the autumn. She dressed, then she went sleep in. She now had a beautiful yellow one, and instead of crawling among the leaves, she flew up and away into the sweet spring air to play with the sunbeam and flowers. And the little children called her a butterfly. Part 2. Complete the dialogue. So, Meg, you are talking about being in the military, and you said you were a medic. Can you explain what that is? Yeah, so medic, which now I believe is called health care specialist is. I always say it's kind of similar to being like a paramedic, where it's not a full nurse job. I think nurses have more training like in civilian side nurses, but similar to paramedic, where you have certain, like my new procedure that you're trying to do, and high level saying just then IMT like doing I'm giving suction ship seems just like that, and you train it because it's the military. You're especially training for emergency situation and how to treat someone who has maybe some serious life threatening wounds. Sounds that's in the medic. Wow, that sounds like a really difficult job. I mean, just not your typical. Just so your job, you must have had a lot of schooling and education. I had, well, everyone throughout the initial about 2.5 months like basic training, and that's more kind of basic combat skills and physical training, that kind of thing. And I had 4 months past tense to training to be a medic. So we went through like emergency medical technician course, like just like civilian side. I got certified with that. And then we had additional training for the military skills like IFS and emergency procedures, that kind of thing. Right. Can you explain what IFS is? IF is an intravenous, like getting fluids into your body. So if you're injured and if you lost a lot of blood, or maybe you're dehydrated and you need some fluid in your body quickly, then we stick a needle into your vein and then the fluids go in. And the needle comes back out little to the sign, and then you can get fluids quickly that way. So anybody that's been to feeling the back thing is always kinda interest moment when a nurse or the person is gonna stick net the one and were you good at doing that? So once I learned how to do it, I think I was pretty good, and I actually enjoy doing it. Not in a creepy way, but it was, I guess, because I was decent at it, that it was a part of my job that I enjoyed. But for myself, before we went through that training, I actually became dehydrated and needed to get an IF myself. And I was terrified because I really had that before in my life. And so the nurse was going to come, put the needle in my arm, and I was like, no, isn't there another? It's just drink a lot of water. And she was saying, aren't you going to be a medic? And I was like, I'm training the end. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was recently in the hospital, and they had me strapped up for food and blood, and for the water, intravenous drip, and it's annoying because you can't really move. Like if you want to get up and walk everywhere, you're strapped with all these tubes, and it's not very convenient. Yeah, or at least you have to careful. When I was getting the IFV, I didn't know that the needle doesn't stay in your arm. Now, for some things it does. For some things it does. For blood, maybe it's different. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I'm gonna be careful, but it's wanna take a while. So I know very much. Right. So, what percentage of people would you say freak out when they get the needle? Oh, probably 9 years. 95%. Oh, really? Yeah. Even, thought arms guys would come in the bee and really like the bee. Oh, I'm fine. Well, we need to give you an IV, and they be like, right. Yeah, nobody likes that. No. So you transitioned, you are in the medical profession, and then you moved the education. Why did you leave the medical profession for education? Yeah, that's interesting because I back in the military, because I found when I could continue college that I will be nurse or a doctor. But my time serving as a medic have really taught now when I am to the from my career after of. So I'm glad that I had those skills and the things that I learned and was able to experience, but I had English kinda in the back burner, and so I defend I vocabulary, and so I didn't say this and until I do English education. Wow. Have you ever thought about being like an English place for people, like teaching doctor or nurses? I guess I haven't thought about that, especially sometimes I thought about going back to military. Did have like some English school and military, and so I guess that will be relevant. Also, it could be, yeah, so that will be interesting, something to think about. Part 3. Number 1. What kind of home would we want to have? Answer. A nice medium to large size home. Number 2. What would he like to live near? Answer. Have some land with the house. Number 3. What do they talk about? Answer. They talk about type of residence and comfortable house model. Number 4. What does he want in his ideal house? Answer. Mark said if he married, he won't have one room. He can put small library, a lot of books. Put table in the room. Number 5. Detail the conversation with your own word, giving the detailed information. Answer. A man asked to Mark and what house he want to have. Mark answered that he want to have a medium but large size home close to a lake because usually he had to travel a long distance and hours to get there. He want to have a landscape concept. Mark also said he want to have green but not a perfect square. If he gets married, he wants his wife to make his room and put a small library as well as a table for him to use. Sekian video dari saya, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.